Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. There's a news report about Murdo Fraser and his non-crime hate incident, and we'll look at that. We'll look at the actual report on that. But within it is a little victory. A victory for common sense, a victory for us. And it's all to do with the hate crime bill, because Police Scotland are changing certain things that they want, or are at least going to do. Now we need to look at this because the actual hate crime bill says one thing, but Police Scotland are choosing to do something else, which indicates that Police Scotland are now actually and actively breaking the law. And if you have a police force that's constantly breaking the law, then is it even a police force? Does it have any legitimacy? It's all very deep, but it's a problem brought around by the SNP and their idiot-in-chief, or at least their previous idiot-in-chief. Their current idiot-chief is too busy working out what a woman is, whereas Humza was trying to work out how he could bring in a blasphemy law without making it look like a blasphemy law. And failing. Let's take a look, see how Murdo's doing, and then have a look at our little win. Good news. Here goes. So, Murdo Fraser still waiting on Police Scotland apology for his illegal act, as a key hate crime guidance is dropped. Now, if you remember, Murdo only accidentally found out that he had a non-crime hate incident logged against his name. He had no other way of finding out other than by the pure fluke of the way it was. Surely you'd think if that was being recorded, you must be notified that this has been recorded, and there must be some kind of appeals structure. Otherwise it can just randomly be put on your file, you don't know about it, and there's no way of getting it off. But this is Scottish law for you, and this could ultimately impact on, life, career, all sorts of things. And there's no legal recourse. It's wrong. Anyway, he's fighting it. He's saying it is absolutely wrong, and he wants all these things done. Police Scotland said they've dropped it. It was never a hate crime incident, but it's apparently still on there, and he wants it removed, and he wants the apology from the police. And he's going to wait a long time, I think. The police don't want to admit liability by doing anything so stupid as apologising. But alongside this, and very importantly, is that there's been an admission by the police that they're no longer going to do something. The National Force, here we go, will no longer routinely record every non-crime hate incident. It's a victory. But the Tory MSP reckons there's still confusion over what it means for Scots. Now, it means that the hate crime bill says that they must record every single offence that is reported, whether it's an offence or not. Every single accusation or whatever has to be recorded. And now Police Scotland are saying they're not going to report non-crime hate incidents, so it's already weakening an already weak act, because no one is still yet to define what a hate crime is. There is no definition in law as to what makes hate. And so it is a little step towards the eradication of this stupid law, brought in by a very, of course, stupid man. So Murdo Fraser says he's still waiting to hear from Police Scotland about a non-crime hate incident recorded against him, as the force drops a key element of that legislation. The Conservative MSP from Mid-Scotland and Fife has previously accused the force of acting illegally and demanded an apology after it kept his details in relation to a complaint. A trans activist reported him to cops for tweeting that someone choosing to identify as non-binary is as valid as choosing to identify as a cat. And he is completely right, because there is no such thing as non-binary. In fact, someone choosing to identify for a cat is more valid. Cats exist. No criminality was established, but his details were retained in the database for no reason whatsoever. Mr. Fraser wants to see his and all similar records wiped. The issue was highlighted when police started enforcing the controversial Hate Crime Act last month, and it is now costing them an arm and a leg. Literally, they haven't got people out on the street because of all the paperwork involved in the hate crime bill. Things are getting worse. Things are not going to improve anytime soon, especially when they still can't even get off their arse to delete all the files that they should never have had in the first place. It's now been reported that the National Force, created by the SNP in 2013, will no longer record every complaint. Fraser welcomed the development but said there was still confusion over the issue. He told the Scottish Daily Express, "I raised a formal complaint in March with Police Scotland in relation to a non-crime hate incident being recorded in relation to a social media post. I am still waiting on detailed response to this." They have to do it. In fact, isn't it legal under the Data Protection Bill, under the GDPR and all that, that if you request something which is held on a computer somewhere or on a file somewhere, you are entitled to that information, and I think it's a 90-day notice. I think if they haven't responded within 90 days, it becomes a crime. Be interesting, wouldn't it? The police committing crimes themselves. That's the point I was making. And also the fact that the hate bill itself says that all reports of hate crimes must be reported. And if they're not reporting and recorded. If they're not recording it now, and they're saying they're not recording it, then they are in breach of the law. And again, if you have a police force breaching its own laws, you don't have a police force. It's pointless. Anyway, he said, "It's clear to me that the policy being operated by Police Scotland was unlawful, as a breach of human rights. If Police Scotland now saying that this policy is being changed, then that's a welcome development. But it also breaches the hate crime law." Unbelievable, isn't it? He said it needs to be clear to the public and the Scottish Police Authority as to what policy now is, and it needs to cancel all records made under the previous illegal policy and apologise to all those affected. As of today, Police Scotland website is still showing that the previous policy still applies. This confusion does not do any good, but typifies the shambolic manner in which Police Scotland has handled this matter. The public will have little confidence in the leadership of Police Scotland until this issue is properly resolved. And he's right. And it isn't going to get resolved soon because nobody's got the political will to do it, because it involves standing there and admitting they got it wrong. The SNP don't like doing that, do they? They never get anything wrong. They are practically perfect in every way. I'm coming up. So confusion reigns all round. Police Scotland were breaking one law, the ECHR, by the old retaining this information even though no crime's been broken. They got the new law, which may well be challenged in the courts under the same law. They are now not recording these incidents, which is breaching the new law. So that's two definite breaches of the law and one probable breach of the law. And all at the same time, they're still not apologising to everyone who's affected. One man's brought this confusion here. Name's Yousaf, a man so desperate to bring in an Islam blasphemy law by the back door and hope that nobody noticed that he put all this shit onto the police. And yet we all noticed straight away what it was. He's full of crap. Best thing, repeal it. Just get rid of it and say, look, it isn't working. It's a stupid law. We've already got laws in place anyway. You don't need it. End of story. Good one, isn't it? Never mind. Anyway, thanks very much for listening. Please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. Please share the video. I'll speak to you later. Bye.